Hi, I'm Mark Olivito. I am CEO and owner of LM Foods, a surimi seafood manufacturer in Carteret, New Jersey. We make surimi seafood. It's the stuff that you find in sushi restaurants and in supermarkets across the country. So, surimi seafood it's seafood. It is Alaskan pollock or it's Pacific hake. It's product that is shaped and formed and flavored into crab, lobster, shrimp, and it's used for a variety of different reasons. It's used to make crab cakes, it's used for seafood salads, and it's sold as just straight surimi seafood. It's also sold to restaurants so that they can make California rolls. It's an ingredient and it's also an end usage product. We have about 57 employees, hardworking, dedicated employees that come from all parts of the world, and we are proud to be a member of the Carteret, New Jersey community. I left a very good job. I was a chief marketing officer in Memphis, Tennessee for a great company called Monogram Foods, which was a high growth company. And I had a great life in Memphis, Tennessee, a lot of friends. So why did I leave Memphis, Tennessee, and a great job to come to Carteret, New Jersey? I would say that owning a business has been a lifelong dream of mine. That was number one. It's a chance to work with people, to create a vision for how a business can be run, and to put everything that I've learned over the past 20 years in different consumer product companies into play. It's also New Jersey, so I grew up about 8.5 miles down the road. So it was a chance to live out a dream, and it was a chance to come back home. So one of the things that we did, we were getting ready for a trade show, one of the big ones of the year, and we redesigned our logo, the LM Foods logo. And somebody asked a simple question: what does the L stand for, and what does the M stand for? And now here I am. I've owned the company for a year, and I was embarrassed to say I didn't know. The answer was the L stood for LG, the electronics manufacturer, and the M was some equipment manufacturer in Korea. Said differently, it didn't mean anything for our business. So we started to ask ourselves, well, what should it stand for if we had to redesign it today, as we were doing? And we said, well, how about loyalty matters? I mean, if you think about a business, is there anything more important than having employees and customers and partners that stay with you for the long term in terms of relationships? And we said, all right, loyalty matters really works. And then we started talking about our values as a company and what is important to us. And it's basically, we put it on the back of our business card. Two little words, the two H's. It's called heart and hustle. And heart is about caring. It's about caring more than other people really think is smart. And that could be people that we're doing business with, or it could be people that we're not doing business with. And we're going to try and find a way to care about them, add value to their operation, to their lives. And hustle it's kind of that term that you say, it's about outworking people. We're one of the smallest companies out there in our industry, and we're not going to get by in a 9 to 5. This is the food business. It's manufacturing. We scrape and claw for pennies in our business. So the combination of heart, caring for people more than the average, and hustle and outworking people, hopefully loyalty becomes the outcome of those two values that we value, which is heart and hustle. The SBA, so the government takes a lot of flack for all kinds of different programs, but the one program, there's probably many, but when you think about the SBA, this is one the government's got dead on right, and for a couple of reasons. When you look at my story about buying LM Foods and acquiring it, it wouldn't be possible without SBA-backed financing. It reduces risk for the banks that have lent me money, and then it also allowed me to put up less cash up front than I would have had to do with a conventional loan. So what do you do with that cash? Well, you invest it in other areas that can be used to help grow the business. Those are people, it's equipment, it's a variety of different projects. But when you look at people like me that don't have the resources to acquire a business, how do I go buy a business if I don't have partners like lending institutions that are backed by the SBA? It's very difficult to do. So in terms of me being proud to be a partner with the SBA, I couldn't be more proud, and it allowed me to realize my dream. So UCEDC, I came across Ellen McHenry probably 4 months before I actually acquired LM Foods to figure out the 504 loan. And it was the basic things of putting together a loan package. It's due diligence, it's financials, it's my background personally. And we went through that process together as partners up until the point when we closed on the business, which was April 17th of 2014. So my view of the UCEDC at the time was a general lending partner, very important to the process, and it wouldn't be possible for me to acquire a business without partners like the UCEDC. But my view of the UCEDC changed pretty quickly. It wasn't more than 4 to 6 weeks after I bought the business that Ellen came to me and she basically said, hey, there's other stuff available through the UCEDC. So I said, like any good business person, all right, tell me more. And she said, you mentioned that you have a predominantly Hispanic workforce, that English is a very distant second language. How would you feel about training grants to do English as a second language classes? So I said, tell me more about that. And there was challenges. We have to put 10 people in a room. We have to figure out how to conduct classes. You have to have high participation rate. But I was going to give it a shot. So long story short, we had about an 80% sign up rate for the English as a second language classes. We did a 20-week program, and we trained about 30 people on 2 different shifts, 4 hours a week for 20 weeks. So that's huge. And when you start thinking about buying a business and investing in people, and then I start thinking about how was I able to pull that off, I wouldn't be able to pull that off without partners. Now, it was a lending institution, or that was my view of it. But now I just put 30 people through 40 hours of training because of a so-called lending institution, nonprofit organization, bringing other resources to the table. So that was one example where the UCEDC far exceeded my expectations and my own personal view of what their role in a business acquisition was. Then there was a second piece, so it didn't stop there. There was a government contracting program and service within the UCEDC where we sat down and we started getting exposure to this segment of business called the government, where there's billions of dollars spent, and now LM Foods can play a role in trying to figure out how to compete and gain access to government contracts. Those are 2 big things. Those are relevant. When you start talking about securing incremental business and then investing in people, and I start thinking about how do we put all that together, UCEDC is top of the list in terms of helping us realize those opportunities. So, my wife, Kim, we met actually in the food business. We met at Kraft Foods, and she was on a sales team, and I was on a sales team. And she had a very successful 15-year career at Kraft Foods. And I worked for a competitor at the time, and we've kind of been both in the food business. We both have that running through our veins, so to speak. Kim helps out in the business. She's here once or twice a week. If there's a project that we need extra resources for, first person that comes to mind is my wife. She's got the experience. Obviously, I trust her. She's as equally committed to this business as I am. So there's nothing better than having somebody that's family that can jump into any project and you have full faith and confidence that she can get it done. And Kim certainly fits the bill. So you start thinking about a business in the future and what is possible. It's always going to come, or my experience is, it always comes down to the people working in the business itself. So you start thinking about how to grow a business. You are not going to grow a business unless you take all the employees within a company and you figure out how to grow them. So I've talked about training. I've talked about English as a second language, figuring out a way to invest in people. And then if you do that and you care about people, that's part of the heart and hustle, those investments will come back to you tenfold and you'll just naturally grow the business. But you've got to have an obsession if you're running a business with people, and you've got to have an obsession with growing those people, understanding what their dreams are, understanding what they're good at, what they're not so good at. And then if you can figure that out and tap into the emotional connection of figuring out how to work with people, things will take care of, the score will take care of itself in terms of business. You'll find a way to grow. People will bring forward opportunities. I believe businesses grow when they become people centric and then they tap into the dreams of the people that are working there. So I believe that people wake up at 5 a.m. to come to a manufacturing facility for more than just doing a job. They come to work because they want to be part of a community. They want to make a difference. So as owner of a company, or as any leader of a company, it's your job to figure out what are those dreams of the people. How do you invest more in people? That's compensation. It's training. It is saying thank you in the morning. It's being visible. It's all the simple things that comes to running a business. It's always all about people. When things get tough, you're going to lean on your people. When things are great, you're going to celebrate with your people. But in terms of realizing dreams of LM Foods and serving the marketplace, it starts and it ends with our people.